It is consciousness. Chaitanyam. The word is Chaitanyam in Sanskrit or Chit. Chaitanyam, Chit, these are the words used. And what he says is, there is a consciousness in you. This is Chaitanyam. And you have a mind. And you have a body. This consciousness shines in the mind. And through that, in the body, in all the organs of the body. And you feel this consciousness. This is the answer. Now the answer here is, the thing to be noted here is, the teacher presents consciousness in 5 aspects. There's 5 points you have to understand, appreciate. First of all, consciousness is not a part of your body or your mind. Consciousness is not a part of your body or your mind. It is apart from your body and mind. Here it's different from science, because modern science would say consciousness is a product of your body. Even your mind is a product of your body. Mind and consciousness all are products of the brain. That's what physiology would say today. But here the teacher says consciousness is apart from your mind and body. First point, it is not a part of your body. It's not a product of your body. Second point, it's apart, but it pervades and illumines the mind and body. Consciousness pervades and illumines the mind and body, enabling it to function. Third point, this consciousness is not limited by the mind and body. It exists apart from the mind and body also. It's not limited to it. It's not something here in this particular brain, in this part of the body. It's not limited by the body. Third, this consciousness is known, it is known in the functioning of the mind and body. Through the functioning of the mind and body, we can know consciousness, we can experience consciousness. And fifth, the last point to be appreciated is, without the mind and body, consciousness is still there, but it cannot be known. It's not experienced. Example, 5 points. I'll give you an example. There is light here from these tube lights. There is light here. Here is my hand. And light is being reflected from this hand. Okay, it's being reflected from this hand. The light which is being reflected from this hand, you can see here, the light being reflected from this hand, the light is not a part of this hand. It's not a product of this hand. Okay, first point. The second point is, it pervades the hand and illumines the hand. Third point is, I can understand the light. A third point is, it exists. It's not limited by the hand. Other than the hand also, it exists everywhere. And the fourth point is, it's by the reflection in this hand that I can understand the light. Just now here I cannot understand the light. But when I put my hand here and it shines, I can understand the light. I can experience the light when it is reflected. And the last point, very interesting, is if I remove the hand, the light is still there, but it's not experienced. Now it's experienced. Now it is not experienced. Start with a story. Recently I read this story in one of Alan Watts' books. Alan Watts was a philosopher, writer, British, and he settled down in the Bay Area in America, in San Francisco. And his books were quite popular at one time. He was very humorous. So at one place he says, if religion is the opium of the masses, then I must say that the Hindus have the inside dope. Now he says, this whole game of life, what's going on here, it can be explained from a Vedantic perspective. He was very interested in Vedanta and also Buddhism. So his main perspective was Vedantic and Buddhism. So it can be explained from the perspective of Vedanta through a story. And he says, this story he tells children. He says, children immediately understand it. Adults find it a little difficult to understand. So what we are going to do in the class today, afterwards, actually is nothing more than this children's story. A very profound little story which Alan Watts himself put together for children. So I'll tell you the story as he told it to children. And then I'll tell you as it is told to adults, as Vidyaranya is saying in the Panchadashi book. But basically it's the same story. And I think the story for the children is perhaps even better than the entire Vedantic philosophy which we will read. The story goes like this. God only existed. It's only God, nothing else. And after some time, naturally, poor God got lonely. Nothing to do alone. What to do? And he decided to entertain himself, he decided to play hide and seek. But whom will he play with? Because there is only God, nobody else. You need somebody to play with. So what God decided to do was, he needed playmates to play with. Where will he find playmates? So what God decided to do was, God pretended to be not God. God pretended to be not God. What did he pretend to be? He pretended to be him and her and you and me, not God. But because, after all, it is God, and he is very good at what he does, he pretended so well to be not God that he forgot that he is God. And the game of hide and seek became a very serious thing, no longer a game. And so God, pretending to be not God, caught up in this game of hide and seek, is you and me and him and her and everything else in this universe. Everything that you see here is not God, but it's actually God pretending to be not God and having forgotten its own godly nature. That's the whole story of life.